Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show, Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, I'm glad you tuned in today for this episode of Loving Life. I'm excited because we have Bill Leslie with us. He's the news from WRAL. Amazing news guy, but probably even a more amazing musician. Just an amazing, amazing amount of talent coming out of this guy. Hey, let's go talk to Bill right now.
I wanna climb that mountain, see the river below, climb that mountain.
Hey, my next guest is someone that you're gonna know. He's beloved here in the city on WRAL, Mr. Bill Leslie. Bill, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
Well, tell me a little bit about Bill Leslie.
Oh, he's a guy who gets up too early in the morning. 2:25 is when my alarm goes off.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then you're on air by what time?
4:30, into the station by 3:30. Take a look at the scripts, put some makeup on.
Wow.
And start delivering the news. So it's an early rise, and I used to kid my children saying, you know, you got to tuck me in tonight, you know.
Yeah.
Come up with a good story for your dad.
So when did it start? What got you into it?
When I was in high school, I just had, it's funny, music kind of got me into radio early on. I was in a band in high school, and we made a record and got some airplay, and so I got to know some of the local radio personalities. And one guy would let me come out late at night and do the news.
Really?
And I can just remember being so fascinated by this little transistor radio I had, and I would stay up late at night just listening to places like, you know, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and St. Louis, and New York, and Chicago radio, and I would emulate these guys.
Yeah.
And I just got into it. And also, I think really what I wanted to be more than anything else was a play-by-play sports announcer, but that never quite worked out. So
That is funny.
Yeah.
So then what got you did that little bit in radio. What got you into television then?
Well, I was in radio working at WRAL FM. I was the news director over there, and we won a Peabody Award, and that kind of got the attention of the general manager at the television station.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I wanted to come over, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we all do things that we do day to day,
Yeah.
and then there are things that there's something that drives us, a passion. And with you, I think it's the music.
I think you're right. Yeah, you know, early on in life, I can remember just sitting down with the guitar and having really an incredible amount of joy coming up with melodies. And then I kind of got away from songwriting when I got into you know, broadcast journalism, and I felt like I needed to just dump my whole life into that to make it work.
Right.
And then my old buddy John Tesh, who was my roommate right after college, we worked together in radio.
Wow.
He came to Raleigh, I think it was 1997, for a concert at Walnut Creek. And he said, "You're coming on stage with me, and you're going to play just like we used to do back in the apartment."
Really?
And that just kind of ignited that bug again for me, because I think you always migrate back to the things that you love. And so I built a little studio at home, and just kind of, it took off from there.
Those who don't perform have a hard time understanding those that do, I think, sometimes, because there's something that just energizes you when you're in front of a crowd, or when you're doing the music.
Right.
They pull it out of you.
Yeah, they do.
And
you always kind of analyze the audience, you know, when you're first there, and I think depending on their tone, their feeling, their mood, you interpret the song perhaps a little different from one place to another.
When you sit down and write a song, because I've talked to different songwriters through the years, how does it come to you? Do you get words first? Do you get melody?
Well, it's funny, I've spent a lot of my time over the last 15 years writing mostly instrumental pieces, though I have written some vocal pieces. And I'm now currently working on an all storyteller album, all story songs. So on this one, I purposely decided to concentrate on the lyrics first, because I wanted the lyrics to be really special.
Yeah.
Because melodies kind of come to me fairly easily. And so I figured if I've got some good poetry to work with, you know, the music will come. So I spent a week in solitude in the mountains. I have a little cabin up near Roaring Gap, and did that in January. And I pretty much wrote an album that whole week. And I'm still polishing it right now, we haven't recorded anything, you know, officially yet, but it's getting close.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's sometimes that you almost feel like you're just a conduit from God down to earth.
Absolutely. You know, I've been in a studio working on a piece and just struggling like crazy, and all of a sudden something happens. It's like I'm trying to come up with a bridge or something. And those can be some of the most amazing moments when it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that fall from?
Wow.
And you just kind of say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is so cool. So your music is instrumental?
Yeah, instrumental. It's kind of, it has a Celtic influence, folk music, maybe a touch of jazz here and there. You know, I grew up being influenced, I think, by, you know, the music on the radio and my church and various places like that. Some people have categorized it as New Age, but I don't really know that it really fits in that genre at all.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to come back in just a couple minutes. Let's hear some music from Bill Leslie. Stay right there.
The name of this song is I Am a River. I am a river flowing beside you. I am a voice in your dreams. Water like honey, shimmering golden. I am much more than I seem. I am an ember faintly burning, a fragment of love long ago. If you kindle my spirit, then I will warm you. You can feel your heart start to glow. But you worry about the demon of darkness, the snarling beast in the night. But with my release, you will find peace, healing your wounds and mine. And I am a painter with prism and palette, resting inside your soul. Honor the purpose, cherish the wisdom, and I will make you whole. And I am a meadow
I'm telling you, that's amazing. Creativity is one of the greatest gifts that I believe that we have from God.
Yep.
And so that's amazing to hear. Tell me a little bit about the future. What do you think it holds for music?
Well, short term, I'm working on a project right now, which is I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to figure out one of the most interesting aspects is trying to figure out what the harmonies should be.
Yeah.
Not only the vocal harmony, but the instrumental harmony and the different instruments to use. And I'll be working on that. And I would eventually like to get into some film work with music. I will not work in television, forever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to spending some time to get away from the rigors of life and have a lot more creative time. I feel like right now it's a struggle for me to be creative at times because of the demands of my life.
Yeah. So you mentioned going to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that pulling away is one of the best ways to do that?
Absolutely. It's a gorgeous setting. It's you're looking out at this wonderful vista in the Blue Ridge Mountains, about a mile off the Blue Ridge Parkway. And if I go up there and I'm totally quiet and shut down the ego, shut down all of the electronic devices, and just listen, something always starts to happen. It's like, okay, this is my creative place, my good place. And so it's get up with a cup of coffee real early in the morning. Getting up early is no problem for me.
You're used to that.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's super hard to stay in bed.
Yeah, it is.
Like when you go someplace.
Yeah.
But some of the best times are the early times.
Yeah.
There's a scripture in the Bible that says, early in the morning will I seek thee.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think there's something to
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. You mentioned the group, that the garage band that you were a part of.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything now with like a group?
Yeah, there's a group called Lorica, and we call it Bill, Leslie, and Lorica, and we play, occasionally. We've kind of scaled things back a little bit this year while I'm working on a new album, but we'll crank things up again in the fall and in the winter. But it's a wonderful band that I play with, and we have a good time. We've done a lot of nice gigs in fairly large venues. We've played with the North Carolina Symphony and the Tar River Philharmonic Orchestra, and performed with the North Carolina Master Chorale.
Wow.
I love doing that. It's fun. I maybe look forward to doing more of that when I do maybe scale back on my TV work.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned earlier it's all about choices, and the choices we make determine our future tomorrow. If you were to talk to somebody now, maybe a young person, what would your wisdom be that the Bill Leslie now?
Well, I'm a big believer in the quiet, in the beautiful natural scene. I get so inspired by landscapes. And I'm not saying that this works for everybody, but when I'm in a beautiful place, like Scotland or the Canadian Rockies or Bryce Canyon out in Utah, that's where I really get my excitement about life and creation and my relationship with God. And I think it's, Facebook and all of this social media stuff nowadays just totally consumes people from the time they get up in the morning until they get ready to go to bed at night. And I just think we've got to be sure that we carve out spaces of quiet and contemplation in our lives so that we can be whole and can be united with the Spirit of God.
Yeah. So for a young struggling musician, that's the answer.
I think it would be for me, but then when you thrust yourself back into the world, you've got to work hard and push hard and do the best you can. But But don't forget that meditative place, that quiet spot. I think that's it's kind of hard to find these days, but I think it's just so important.
Well, we were talking about the whole Facebook thing just a little bit earlier. That there are some expectations I think people have where they see other people, and I'm not quite living up to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't try to be somebody else.
Right.
You mentioned John Tesh.
Yep.
Has he influenced you?
Oh yeah. He's a good friend, very good friend. We spent some time together several months ago when we had a radio reunion. He's such a great guy. He's an awesome guy, and he's had me play with him several times. But he is just a hard-working, hard-charging, positive guy, and I think we're a lot alike in that respect.
I think it's interesting because some people look at people on TV and in movies and everything and think that they're a little bit different, but they're just people.
John's just down to earth as they come. He's great guy.
Yeah. Well, it's been an honor and a privilege to be with you. Thank you for being with me.
I'm glad we finally got together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, it's been a little crazy this year, my schedule, but thanks so much for your persistence and getting me here.
It's an honor.
And a pleasure and an honor to meet you, Dr. Weir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, if you want more information on his music, on his CDs, go to his website right here. Been great. Till next time, we'll talk to you later. I love creative people. Again, it's one of the greatest gifts that you have from God. And so many people say, well, I'm not creative, I can't do anything. Well, you can, you just haven't looked hard enough. Some of you are amazing cooks. Some of you are incredible seamstresses. I mean, you make things. There are people who sing, there are people who dance, there are people who play the guitar, every one of us has some outlet of creativity. You need to figure out what that is. And don't have in your mind, it's just one thing. It's not. It's any number of things that your mind comes alive. You become a conduit for God to flow through you, and all of a sudden creativity flows. You might not think, well, I'm never going to be an Emmy Award singer or actor, or I'm not going to. Don't worry about that. Just let creativity flow through you. That's what it's all about. And it was such an honor to meet this guy. What an amazing man. Listen, join us on Facebook. Please do that. Go to the Facebook page, Loving Life with Dr. Weir. Push the little like it button. And listen, every once in a while I'll send some information. It's not a daily thing, but every once in a while I'll send some information to you. You can also join us on Twitter. You can go to our website, www.drtimweir.com, and on that page I've got different information of where you can go. Our trip to Guatemala, we've got some information about that on there. So I want you just to hook in and become a part of Loving Life. That's what it's all about. You loving life.